In this video, you're going to learn the exact roadmap that I teach my private students on how to make $500,000 a year as an AWS cloud engineer. Talk is cheap. Let's first go ahead and talk about who I am. I'm a retired AWS cloud engineer. I've generated over $1 million in offer letters over the span of my career. Just showing you some of the offer letters, like 150. This was 176, $85 an hour. This one was $200,000 a year. This one was for 140. Just to really go quickly, because I've said this in other videos, just some of my pay stubs, just so you guys can see some social proof, and how I was job stacking and making $25,000 a month after tax. All I did to retire, I traded my time for money. I got a high income skill, cloud engineer. I learned the skill set of investing, and I'm even now currently still a day trader. That's where my background was before I got into cloud engineering. I turned my money into more money, and now I was making a lot of money per month. Just used that money, made it to more money, and then I retired my 9-to-5 when my net worth was a certain amount of money where I can live comfortably for a pretty decent time. So I waited to do all this stuff and then before I bought my dream car. There was no point in me making money and then spending that money. So I waited some time. This year, 2025, I bought my dream car, I bought my house, and I retired my 9-to-5. And now I pour into others, and I teach people how to do the exact same steps that I did. And so just to kind of show you guys some of my students' testimonials, this is just a bunch of them. And I'm gonna go over it with you guys. Let's actually pull up the wins channel, and I'm really just gonna go through all of not even all, just some of my wins, okay? And it's gonna be quite some testimonials. But this is before we even get into that, I'm gonna show you. We'll just kind of glance over the roadmap. This is exactly what I teach in my private coaching, right? This is week 1, week 2, all the way to week 8. I have an 8-week program. I teaches you everything in detail. I'm going to show you guys the same thing that I teach. Just showing you guys, right? This is, the different projects. It's a cloud migration project.
Apache 2
you actually see me.
is a service. System CTO start.
So I break everything step by step. It's an 8-week program. We have live coaching calls where we're teaching the stuff in the 8-week program. And we have office hours, and we have the Sunday coaching calls. So I'm going to show you guys the exact roadmap that I give to my students. So before we even get into that, why should you even still stay and pay attention? Now, this roadmap was given to these students, and I'm going to be very transparent. What you need to be successful, right, is to prioritize this. I have a certain identity, meaning you are the person to overcome challenges, fearful. There was a lot of people that did not know if this was going to work. They overcame that fear. Okay, they believed in themselves. They knew it was going to work, even for me. They prioritized this, and they put the time and energy into the system to be able to gain the skill. And then $500,000. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. This is the exact roadmap, right? And before we get into that, these people, they had this formula. This is just a formula. So just want to make sure that's super clear, because that's super important. Now, let's get into it. Palumi, get an offer letter, $130,000. So you can pause the video if you want to take a look at this, but $130,000. I'm gonna go pretty fast. Me, $95 an hour. Right, it's just my community, right? It's like a family. Darnell, right? Keep in mind, Darnell, October 18, 2024, he got the skill set, and I want to highlight Darnell. I'm going to bring him back. 150, and all of this. I think they have benefits and stuff like that, right? Bonuses. Davis, $99 an hour. This is not a cloud engineer job, just an IT specialist. He actually got that offer just because the resume was extremely good. It was a pretty easy interview process. Della, it says 130, but it's $70 an hour. It's actually 145. Pulumi, second job, for 152. Excuse me. Me again, 140,000. Right, so this is somebody that's, actually knows what he's talking about. Not just listening to someone who just teaches information and doesn't practice it. Jalen, 115. Now this is insane. Greg, he got 2 offers landed in the same day. First offer letter, second offer letter. I asked him how much for both. 143 for the first one, and the other one's for 150. This is not common, and this is most likely not going to happen to anybody watching this. Just want to be very transparent. I'm not going to sell you any dreams. But for him, because he prioritized this, made it like everything. Like he was like, this is what I'm going to put my time and energy into. I mean, that's why Greg is right there, right? My best student, one of my best students. He prioritized this. He put the time and energy into the system, and his identity was the person that was needed to overcome fear and challenges. So 1 month and 21 days, got $300,000, which is $16,000 a month after tax. $16,000 after tax added to his income, monthly income. And then he got another one. So this was January 16th, January 28th. 12 days later, got another one for $85 an hour. I think he's at like 470,000. Yep, in 2 months, in less than 2 months. Then he got another one 3 days later. Ain't that crazy? 165,000. Now, I mentioned in the video, I don't know if it sounds a little bit crazy. Just depends on what you think is a lot of money or not. Depending on your mindset, there's people making $10 million a year. There's people making 100. There's people making 100,000. People making 500,000. So I'm just showing you, hey, it's how to make 500,000, and that was exactly what I said in the video. Here's how to make 500,000. It's the roadmap, right? So I'm gonna still get to this. This is the roadmap, but just want you guys to clearly see, people have gone through this roadmap that I'm about to share with you. 166,000, right? 110. So started 9 months ago with no IT experience, and now starting my first DevOps role at the end of the month. Stormy, love talking about him. No degree, no certifications, just had this roadmap. Okay. Isaac, he got 2 verbal offer letters. This one, 161, and then this one for Visa at 240. 180 base, 15 bonus, and then equity. Right? Absolutely insane. I say you make more money than me now, boss. Then you're not going to believe this. You got a part-time offer for $200 an hour as a freelancer. Right? So $200 an hour. Insane. And let me hold $2. Miko, she was a nurse. Went from nursing to IT. 130,000 annual, fully remote. So just showing you the offer letter, just so you guys can see. So it was her second interview ever in March, and just the team showing love and support. I don't preach certifications. You don't need certifications. This is actually my brother, but he just got his certification because he wanted to. Stormy, first day on the job is real. So certs, I don't even, they mean nothing to me, to be honest. And so Woodland, $140,000. So he met me 10 months ago. I actually met him at a conference, InvestFest. It's a conference held by Earn Your Leisure. Really love the company. But 10 months ago, he met me. Literally didn't even know what the cloud was. Now receiving my first job offer, $140,000 2 weeks ago. I know Ty was a humble dude, but he's becoming a goat. Yes, a goat. He's a goat in the game. It looked kind of weird, right? Without bringing that. Anyways, 140,000. Marquise, I actually known him since middle school. He's like a youth pastor now. but he's just explaining how he didn't know how God was going to use Tile in this program to shift his trajectory in his life. He's honored to receive an offer letter for $155,000 with a $15,000 annual bonus. Right? And everybody has used the same system. I'm about to show you. They've gone through literally this step-by-step roadmap, and they check off the list, right? As they go through this system, step-by-step, right? It's links that's linked to the videos. They're trying to make it as simple as possible. And even someone who's had no IT experience was able to go through the system. And so I'm sharing this and saying all this because I'm going to share with you this system. Cool. So Tile teaches you how to land any job you want. Don't sleep on his advice. Got an offer letter. I'll kind of speed through this. $65 an hour. Malcolm, I grew up with him actually. $45 an hour. He's getting paid bi-weekly, remote. Cleo, $140,000 an hour. Sorry, $140,000 a year. $140,000 an hour. This is Jeff Bezos money. $155K with the 10% bonus. This is Logan gotten off. As you see, I'm just kind of really showing you the consistency of like this system, and it's just an insane amount of testimonials, right? So let's dive into it. And there's more. Like it's kind of insane. It goes on for days. These are videos. These are, I show people in my program my proprietary system of how to get recruiters to reach out to you. Right. And kind of, it's literally not even that complicated. Right? We're gonna get into that. Just showing you so far, I had 3 recruiters reach out to me for potential positions, $75 an hour. These are the 3 different roles, and these are the different screenshots. Right. So that's a part of the system, right? In terms of branding yourself, I'll talk about it, but let's get into it. I've spent 12 minutes talking about something. All right, I'm just kidding, you guys. So the first thing you want to learn, and so I'm going to be talking about my specific system. I teach my program in 8 weeks, and so I'm just going over the things that I teach. Right, you guys can go to ChatGPT and learn this stuff on your own. You can use YouTube University. There's nothing wrong with that. But just learn this system if you're interested. Now, if you're interested in terms of having accountability, step-by-step process and program to get these specific results that I've kind of shared above, go ahead and click the link in the description below. I'll go ahead and you can book a call with one of my team members. He will see if you work, if you're going to be qualified for the program. Honestly, just going to give you the cheat code to the call. We're just looking for someone that's taking this very serious, that's who's going to prioritize this, because those people, offer letters, they've prioritized it. They're going to put time and energy and committed to put time and energy into the system and skill. And they are the person, right, to overcome fear, to overcome doubts, to overcome, hey, this is going to work or it's going to work. If you don't have not one of these, it will not work. Please do not book the call. I'm just letting you know it will be a waste of your time. And I don't want you to waste your time. Just being honest. So, with that being said, week 1, you're going to first learn a cloud platform. I chose AWS. They have the most market shares in the market in terms of cloud. And so, Amazon, right? They have the most market shares. So, AWS is their platform, and that's the cloud provider that I learned because there's more opportunities, there's more job in the market. So that's why I chose AWS. There's different cloud platforms, different ones. There's 3 main ones: AWS, GCP, which is Google's Google Cloud Platform, GCP, and then Microsoft. They have Microsoft Azure, right? So, and there's a bunch of other ones like Alibaba. I forgot the other ones, but nonetheless, the top 3 is the ones I just said. You can pick one, just learn a cloud platform. You want to learn like the fundamentals of it. So kind of just to go over, actually I won't go too in depth because I don't really teach a whole class. But like I said, you can ask ChatGPT. It'll tell you all the things you need to know. Understand the core fundamentals of cloud technology, the different models, And then just really go inside to that cloud platform and like literally like play with it, like register for an account. Now I'm just not a financial advisor, right? Make sure you protect yourself. How to use the free resources there. Um, if you build anything in cloud, make sure you destroy it. But just make sure you play with the free tools, and you make sure you don't overspend when learning the platform, right? So, anyways, let's go back here. So week one, that's what you want to do. Week 2 to 4. So for my specific program, like there's other programs that's like 8 months, 9 months. I've seen it. I'm teaching you stuff that will make you a well-rounded IT professional, and I'm getting straight to the point. You're not studying for a certification, right? I've gotten 3 certifications in a college degree, and I was still driving Uber Eats at 2 a.m. in the morning, right? I fell into, from my experience, it didn't work for me. So I just don't believe in certs and degrees because, I mean, Stormy has no cert or degrees, no experience, and he was able to land a job. So it just proves my theory that you don't need it. So, anyways, um, the whole point of me saying that is I teach my program in 8 weeks because I'm teaching you what you will know, what you will need to know on the job, how to maintain a job, and be one of the be a top performer at the job. And you don't need to, instead of learning X, Y, and Z, A to Z, I'm teaching you A to F because A to F are the key things that you're going to be using on your day to day. I've gotten certifications, some of the knowledge I've never used on the job. Anyways, I want to make sure that's important because the weeks, it's not like a long process. Typically, you'll see long processes, so I want to give some context to why like you're seeing this. So, anyways, I forgot to mention, for this process to work, you need to have clarity. This is what I'm providing for you in this video. I'm giving you clarity on what to do, right? What to learn, what to focus on. You need support. So we have that within the program. You don't need to join the program. You can have your own support. You can have someone holding you accountable, which is the third thing that you need, accountability. Right? So support somebody who's an expert that you have contact. You can reach out to them and give you support if you have questions. There's ChatGPT. That's a little bit limited because you have to kind of know what you're looking forward to as well, which you can be stuck for hours and trying to troubleshoot the wrong thing just because you don't have context. But just make sure you have some type of person that's, Reddit, I don't know, you can network, right? If you want to do this for free. There's accountability. Make sure you have some level of accountability, right? And then, well, I'll get to this later, how to build multiple income streams, how to get to that 500K. Okay. So, learn the cloud platform. Then you want to learn SQL, SQL, right? That's typically what you're going to be using to interact with your database. You need to be able to understand core fundamental principles of databases, right? Because you're going to be building that in the cloud, right? There's RDS, that's AWS service for building out databases on their cloud platform. Or you can build out the server. I don't want to go so technical, but just to be very simple, or you can build out the server, the computer in the cloud, and install the database there. There's different ways, right? But you need to understand SQL. Computer networking. This is all about how computers talk to each other. This is super important because even how you're watching this video right now, the fundamental principles is from computer networking. Okay, you want to be able to understand. So even just to go through this, this is my program. So this is just like high level stuff, right? But computer networking, you want to be able to understand like IP addresses, TCP, UDP, routers, switches, ISPs, DNS, firewalls. These are all the things that you need to understand. Like these are core fundamental principles of like IT. Regardless if you go into cybersecurity, you need this, right? Even if you want to be a developer, this is still important to understand. So a well-rounded IT professional and a cloud engineer. That's what we teach here. So Linux, like cloud engine servers, like 90%. I forgot the number. I'm not gonna say a number and just act like I know what I'm talking about. I don't like to say stuff I'm not 100% sure on. But there's a high percentage of computers, servers that runs on Linux. And so you need to understand Linux, the core fundamentals of it, to be able to navigate around Linux, to be able to install different things on Linux. Because as a cloud engineer, you're going to be building different servers, and servers are we use the operating system with Linux. Just like right now, I'm using Windows. This is my computer here. You'll be going to be building computers in the cloud, right? It's just a server in a data center, on a data rack or something like that. I said data rack, on a server rack. But nonetheless, it's just a computer somewhere else. You're going to be building Linux computers there, and you need to be able to know how to use it, navigate, install different things, update it, add security, patch the server. Like it's different things, but nonetheless, Linux, you have to understand how to use it. You got to understand how to use a computer. Okay, so that's week 2 to week 4. Week 5, this is all about like scripting. Now, me personally, I do not like coding. I hate it with a passion. But I love cloud engineering because we're not developers. We're not building applications, right? We don't build applications. Like we don't build from scratch. We don't like really hard code. We work around code, and that's why I love this field. Because to be honest, with all of the tools that we have nowadays, using AI has really done all of my heavy lifting when I was working in my 9 to 5. Right? Just a kind of reminder, I retired my 9 to 5, so that's why I say when I was working my 9 to 5. Okay. So, learn Python. I give an analogy to my students. You don't need to know how to speak Spanish, you need to know how to understand it. So, it's not like you're writing code from scratch, right? I use AI to do it, but you need to be able to understand, like, okay, what's the variable, right? What are values? What are the different data types, right? So, you need to understand core principles. Because you need to be able to identify it because you work around it. Terraform, it's a coding, it's a tool that's used to build infrastructure, right, in different cloud platforms. But at the essence of it, right, it's code, and you need to be able to understand basic coding so you can understand how to use this tool. Honestly, it's really just like copy and pasting code. Like they have amazing documentation. If you want to build this, it'll say copy and paste it, and you'll tailor it towards how you want to build it. It's pretty cool. Ansible, this is a tool that's used to automatically configure things. If you build something, let's just say you have a computer, or let's say you bought a PlayStation, and let's say you bought 5 PlayStations, and you want to install Call of Duty on all 5 of them. Naturally, you have to log into, go into turn on all 5 PlayStations and install Call of Duty, and it's a manual process and it takes time. But Ansible is a way that you can use, is a tool that you can use to say, hey, go ahead and install Call of Duty on all 5 PlayStations at once. So it just saves a lot of time. Like you're able to install, you can do any IT task with this tool. So you can say, go ahead and update this, update Call of Duty. Go ahead and install Call of Duty, update it. Anything that you can do on the command line on Linux, you can do it in Ansible. So that's from week 5. Week 6, this is where it gets fun. Docker. Now I'm not gonna go super in depth with all this stuff, but Docker, you need to learn it. You need to be able to know how to containerize applications. Like I said, I don't want to go super in depth, and I kind of already did a little bit. Started teaching. It's a bad habit. Just can't get out of it. But learn Docker. Learn Kubernetes. Like Docker is a containerization a tool. So it's a tool that's used to take an application, put it in like a little box, like an Amazon box, and you can like ship it to different people. They can open the box and they can use that application. It doesn't matter if they're using Windows, Linux, or Mac, right? They can actually take that application and run it on any environment that they're in. Because if it's not containerized and you try to ship an application from Windows to Mac, from Mac to Linux, it won't work, right? Because there's different like I said, I won't go in depth. Kubernetes is just a container orchestration tool. It's used to manage different it's used to manage Docker. Let's just keep it very simple. I'm not going to go into because Kubernetes is a beast on its own. But the way that I teach in my program, I'm teaching you what you need to know. We're not becoming Kubernetes experts. You're going to be wasting a lot of time. The point is to gain this skill set and to be able to do the job at a high level. But we're cloud engineers. We're not, there's senior Kubernetes roles, and we're not going for that, right? We're going for cloud engineers. So, anyways, and there's Jenkins. You need to be able to automate tasks. You need to be, so when you have an application, right, and you have infrastructure, you have a server. I'm gonna try not to teach, but nonetheless, Jenkins is a tool that you can use to automate things. You can say, hey, here's this application. I'm not gonna go and manually install it. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Jenkins pipeline, or use Jenkins, the CI/CD tool, to be able to test this application to make sure that there's no bugs or anything weird going on with the application. After it passes the test, I'm going to go ahead and create this environment where it can deploy this application, right? Excuse me. And so these are really strong automation tools, like Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins is super, super important to understand, but that's what these things are. And then at the core fundamentals of how we interact, like using Git and GitHub, definitely learn it. It's just a way to know how to be able to work well in the team. If you have Terraform code, if you have Jenkins code, you can store that inside a version control tool like GitHub or GitLab CI, right? Not say GitLab CI, GitHub or GitLab, right? There's different tools like that too as well. So this is where it gets fun. Now, there's no point in learning this if you don't know how to solve a problem. This is how you make money. How you make money, how people are able to get a bunch of these jobs, right? Let me actually scroll all the way down. So you need to be able to solve problems, right? Businesses, when you go on any job description, every single business, so I would type in AWS Cloud Engineer remote jobs, every single one of these jobs, they have a problem. They have a business problem and they have a technical problem, right? And so look at that, CI/CD, right? Maintain cloud infrastructure in AWS, environments using Kubernetes. You kind of see, the similarities of what I'm telling you to learn and what they're saying that what you'll work on. It's kind of cool, right? Terraform, CloudFormation is just AWS version of Terraform. They build that tool. CI/CD, monitoring, logging tools. Okay. But every single one of these jobs, they have a business problem and they have a technical problem. Now I go in depth in terms of how to find that stuff on week 8. Okay, interview prep. But nonetheless, you need to be able to understand how to solve their problems using what you've learned. So that's why you need to build projects and you need to do tech challenges. Okay. In my program, right, there's 3 projects. This is the cloud migration project. And this is things that, the market currently is in demand for, the cloud migration. AWS migration, right? For this right here, I'll kind of go through everything on how to, do a cloud migration project. But nonetheless, these are just different things. You need to be able to solve problems, okay? Solve real business problems. And so these projects, they're putting together everything that you've learned to be able to create a solution to solve a problem. Hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, I know how to do that. I know how to use these tools. I know how to use these tools to create a solution to solve your problem. I'm trying to make it super simple. And once you're able to communicate that on interviews, to identify their problem and to be able to communicate that you know how to solve their problem because you've done those projects and tech challenges. I've primarily focused on this instead of certs. Certifications, you're learning theory. Actually doing projects and tech challenges are getting your hands dirty and being valuable to the point where you know how to solve their problems, because if you know how to solve their problems, you know how to get offer letters like this because you're able to communicate that on an interview. So just to give an analogy, if you are a barber or if you do hair and you have a business and you need someone to, do hair or cut hair, would you hire someone that has certifications on doing hair or, cutting hair as a barber, or would you hire someone that has real world experience, done projects, right? That has actually done hair, like cut hair. Um, yeah, who would you hire? You would hire the person that's cut hair and done the experience because you're looking for someone that has that experience because they can solve your problem. You have so much business that you can't do everything yourself. You need to hire someone. It's the same thing with this. Business is the same. You need to be able to solve their problems. And you need to be able to articulate that by showing that you can solve their problems on interviews. So I'm going to get to that in terms of how to sell yourself. But that's week 7. Now, branding yourself. Right? Branding yourself. You need to know how to market yourself. Now, I have a specific proprietary system that gets recruiters in my DMs. I don't even, I retired in August and they're still reaching out, right? So, like for example, remote automation analyst, CI/CD. You kind of see where I'm going here, right? I need to actually. So what I do, just to kind of, because this is actually a good opportunity. What I do is I actually give this to my students. So I have a job opportunity section. So any one of my students, they can actually. So we all post different jobs that we don't want, and so they can reach out to the recruiter and do their thing. But nonetheless, yeah. So you need to be able to understand how to like attract and market yourself. Okay. How do you showcase the value? When you're doing these projects, post online. Now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of sauce, but post what you're doing. Communicate effectively what you're doing. You can make a video. You can make a post. Right? You need to be able to brand yourself on LinkedIn. Now, I specifically don't apply to jobs. Like I do for a specific reason. So like they know what type of jobs I'm applying for. They know that I'm applying for specific remote positions. And so they reach out for remote positions. That's just to feed the algorithm. But I get jobs from recruiters reaching out to me because the converting rate to applying to jobs to an offer letter is 2-3%. This is not random numbers. Like I said, I don't like to say anything I don't know. This came from one of my mentors who has 25 years of experience as a recruiter. And so that's what he told me. I'm not a recruiter. So that's just what he told me. And he has 25 years. But I position myself in a way to brand myself to have recruiters reach out to me. And so I teach that to my students, right? Look what happens when you just listen to Tyler's advice. $65, $72 offers. So these are not offers. These are just them reaching out, right? Okay, 3 interviews using this week. 3 interviews using this strategy. 3 interviews this week. Another interview scheduled next week for a senior DevOps role, base salary 130 to 160. 2 more interviews coming, 500 pending. Right, just received my company laptop. I have 2 interviews scheduled for next week with 2 more in the pipeline, 500K coming soon. So had 3 interviews last week. Got called back for another one. Attended the boot camp in office hours. Right, just want to show you that there's a system. Okay, so another offer might be coming soon. This will put me over at $1 million in total offer letters. Just a few months ago, I was begging for one job.
Everybody, so yeah, I just got to update that the tentative job offer will be potentially coming soon, and this is going to be from this government job. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully they say it's remote and I can take it. If not, I may have to not take it. But getting this would put me at $1 million plus in offer letters, which is fucking insane to think about.
So Isaac was a student. He worked at Amazon as a software engineer. He lost his job, could not find a job because he didn't have the skill set, right, that I'm kind of showing you guys. Could not find a job. He didn't know how to brand himself. He didn't know how to sell himself. And yeah, he was able to go through the program. And as you heard him, he actually, this was a while ago, he's actually generated so far $1.4 million in offer letters. I'll make a video specifically on Isaac and kind of go through his offer letters and processes. These are all it. Right? He bought a new car, Tesla, got another C2C contract. That's how to like scale your income doing contracts under your business. But nonetheless, that's besides, that's a whole different story. The whole point is showing you that You need to be able to market yourself and brand yourself in a way that have recruiters to reach out to you.
Yeah, what's good, one percenters? This is Cleo here. Man, got a busy week this week. So today, I gotta go pick up my PIV card to start one of my roles for next Monday, working with a government agency. I got one on Tuesday. Actually, this one, then this one on Tuesday. Got two on Thursday and two on Friday on this calendar, and then one on Friday on this other calendar. So altogether, 7 interviews this week. Plus getting my laptop for the 2 roles that I start next Monday. So busy week, staying at it, still interviewing. Yeah, let's get it. 500,000 coming soon.
500,000 coming soon.
What's good, everybody? Quick win for today. I had 3 recruiters reach out on LinkedIn. So 1, 2, and 3. One was just introducing herself. Didn't share a role opportunity, but I think it'd be a good connection for whenever she has a role come through in the future. And these next 2, trying to schedule a time to talk. This recruiter here just kind of wants more information for when he does have roles come across the table. He knows exactly what to send me, tailored to what I'm looking for. And then since this recruiter my resume and looking to schedule a time to talk today to get the ball moving.
Cool. So you guys get the point. Just trying to show you, like, I'm not just talking just to talk. There's actually a way to brand yourself to have recruiters reach out to you. Then you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to clearly communicate the value, the technical experience, right? The solution to their problem on these interviews. Okay. You need to be able to do a lot of reps. So I kind of go over this in my program in terms of, how to get an offer letter, how to be able to tell stories, right? But this is really creating a story from a long format, right? Detailed and short, summarized detail of the projects and tech challenges that you have done. Because you need to be able to go into detail if they ask questions, but I'm not going to give everything, right? Because it'll still be a super long video. It's already 37 minutes. But you need to be able to communicate and sell yourself. To be able to sell yourself is showing the value that you can bring to the table. Okay? Then you need to go on 10 type 2 interviews. Now, this is something that I just made up, the name, but type 1 interview, and I've heard this from the first person that gave me an offer letter as a cloud engineer. He said so he didn't say type 1, type 2, but he said there's typically 2 types of interviews. The first one is going to be, we're looking for specific things like, hey, we need you to know X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, and Z. And that might be outside of the scope of, right? Like they might need you to know everything of like this, but they might need you to know everything of what I'm telling you right now, but maybe they really need you to know 2 or 3 specific tools that's just super unique, right? And they need like a mid-level, senior level for that. Like they need someone like that to go on the job right now and start making impact, right? That's what he told me. The second type is they need someone who has like the fundamentals, like they know, they have experience, right? Hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me about the time that you've built this. I see on your resume you've done the cloud migration project. Tell me how walk me through that process. What are some of the trials that you what are some of the trials and tribulations that you've had? What are some of the problems that you ran into, and how did you solve that? Kind of tell me, why you went with this option instead of this option, right? And so they're asking you questions about what you've done, but you've already prepared yourself because you know how to sell yourself. You know how to tell stories. The long form, that's very detailed, and the short form, the summarized version. Okay, there's a way you need to know when to use both, but like I said, that's probably another video. So I put a question mark because no one knows when you're actually going to get an interview. No one knows when you're actually going to get an offer letter. Anybody online telling you that, hey, you're gonna get an offer letter in 3 months, how can someone know that? The only person that has the power to give you an offer letter is the hiring manager. being able to advance your skill level, because all of this are skills. These are tech skills. These are branding and marketing skills. These are sales skills, right? Communication skills. We can improve our skill sets to influence the probability of getting an offer letter, but we cannot guarantee it. So anybody telling you online, here's how to get this amount by 3 months, you should run away. I mean, just speaking from my own personal experience, going through bad situations. But anyways, so that's why I put a question mark. No one knows when, right? No one knows. Everybody is different. Like absolutely everybody. Some people, I've seen it like Greg, 1 month and 21 days. I clearly told you that's rare. I've never had someone get an offer letter like that fast. Like super, super rare. I'm gonna go to somebody else because he actually put the time. Greg, not Greg. Stormy was 9 months, right? Brand new to tech. He actually took like a month or two off because he got frustrated, right? He needed a break. This was all like super new to him, but he came back, right? He was committed, the identity to overcome challenges. That was one of the challenges. But yeah, as you guys see, it's a bunch of stuff, right? It's a bunch of interviews and trying to, yeah. These guys are funny. But I want to go to Logan. So earlier I said, remember Darnell. So he lost his job. This is why this is super important, because I'm teaching you the skill. He lost his job due to the government issues and funding. Had an interview today and landed another DevOps job. Keep going, right? So focus on gaining the skill set. Because people, they are in cloud, they lose jobs and they cannot find a job. They don't know how to get a recruiter on the phone. They don't know how to communicate the value on interviews. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, they cannot communicate the technical experience that they have. So Logan, he said, what's up fam? Most of y'all don't know me because I normally just put my head down and grind, but I joined the program exactly 3 months ago. And today I signed an offer letter as a cloud engineer for $155,000, 10% bonus. Always negotiate, so I teach how to negotiate too, but got an extra $5K just by asking. All right, so give all the glory to God. Thank you so much, Lord, for your favor. Thank you, everything, 1% family. And thanks to Woodland, right, for the reminder. So, we always support each other. And then Stormy was 9 months, right? No one knows when. Anybody telling you, hey, X, Y, and Z, you should run, right? Stormy started 9 months ago. Woodland, I said it earlier, Woodland was 10 months, right? He didn't know what cloud was, right? He met me 10 months ago. So everything is kind of like, that's why that's that question mark. But the whole point is to really hone in on this skill. This is the roadmap. And it's very simple, multiple income streams. All, you do is to get multiple C2C contracts. Now, that's a whole different video, but right there's like the one that I just showed you, that I just put inside the job opportunities. Let's see. Announcements. They just started the office hours, so they did that a while ago. But in terms of the job opportunities, I cannot find it. Right here, right? This is a C2C. You can be positioned to your W2 or C2C. So to make it very simple, C2C is just your business doing business with another business. And they need your skill sets and the projects that you've done to be able to solve their problems. So hopefully that helps. If you're interested in learning how you can join the program to see if you qualify, go ahead and click the link in the description below and book a call. You'll talk with pretty much our admissions department. I don't want to say his name because it might be 2 other people. But nonetheless, you'll talk with one of our reps in the admissions department. But cannot stress this enough. You need to prioritize this. You need to put time and energy into the system and skill. Most importantly, you need to become the person, the identity, the person that's going to overcome challenges. right? Even when you start this journey on YouTube University or ChatGPT, or let's just say my program, you will not be successful if you're not somebody to overcome fear, right? To overcome challenges, the fear of the unknown. No one knows if it's going to work. But I know, for me, my identity and my mindset, it is going to work. That was how I was able to, do a couple of things. Just a few things. I'm just playing, by the way, but I still want to do a lot. I want to impact millions of lives on a global scale. That's just my mission statement. That's the mission statement of the 1% University. Having that mindset, the identity, impact millions of lives on a global scale, that's pretty big. But I know it's going to happen. It's going to work, or it's going to work. But I'm just saying this so you guys can take this gem that you need to become the person to overcome challenges and to know that you can almost literally do anything you want. You put your mind to. You have to make it a priority, put time and energy into the thing, become the person to be able to do all four of these. Okay. And so I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Yeah, these are just, yeah. If you guys have any questions, DM me on Instagram. So, and then also you can kind of see some of the stuff I got going on over here. If you want to follow me, you can. There's just different, things that I got going on, different students. You can check me out here. Also, website is here too as well. I'll leave it in the description below. You can check it out. Check out some stuff. Forbes. I said that very slightly. Yeah, I was in Forbes. Forbes, Yahoo Finance, Fox, AI Invest, Tech Advisors, NBC. You can read my article too as well. Just doing a lot of job placements using AI and making it AI proof in terms of the program. Yeah, you can kind of check everything out, and then follow me on IG if you want to, and then check some of this stuff out too as well. And if you have any questions, just DM me 1% on Instagram, and I'll see you guys on the next video.